Welcome to the On Stage podcast, where we interview musicians and members of the entertainment community. Today is a special on stage because we have actress Kristen Duff, and she's 18 years old. She's an multi-award winning actress, model, producer, co-producer, assistant director, screenwriter. She's been in films with Eric Roberts, Daniel Baldwin. Yes, the Daniel Baldwin. My favorite actor is his brother, Alec Baldwin.
Ooh, I
And
love Alec Baldwin.
Nancy and Ritter. I can't believe it. How do you do so much? Wow. Incredible.
Thank you so
Well, thank you.
much.
You're very welcome.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Kristen, for the opportunity to interview you. Can you give us a little bit of background of who is Kristen Duff, how you started into the acting field, and where you find yourself now?
Yes, I can. So I started on my 15th birthday. I did my very first acting class, and since then I have been working every single day. I have been building myself every single day. And every single day I've been building and making connections, and I started from scratch. Like, I had no family connections of anybody that were celebrities. I just worked all by myself, and this is where I am now. And I'm very happy and I'm proud.
So, how did you end up promoting yourself to get to this movie with Eric Roberts and Daniel Baldwin? How did that happen? Because that's an amazing thing to be part of a movie with someone who's high class, Eric Roberts, and the brother of Julia Roberts.
Yes, how I connected with that is so Eric Roberts, he is an awesome person. I love him. I love his sister too. They are so cool. I love them. And how I met Eric is I connected with this director named Ladon Whitmire. And usually, how I connected is I used like Instagram, Facebook. I use pretty much all platforms, and I would just contact people through message and be like, I'll give them like an introduction, and then say, "Do you have any auditions that fit me?" Or "I would love to connect." And that's how I met Eric Roberts, Ladon Whitmire, Nancy Ann Ritter, and Daniel Baldwin. And when I met Ladon Whitmire, the director of Purse of Eric Roberts, she gave me my very first film job when I was 15 called Imani. And we filmed that. And then after Imani, she said, "Hey, I got another job for you." And I got the part for Purse. And I played the main character's sister.
Well, without giving it away, can you give us a little bit of a synopsis what Purse is about without giving the main thing away, actually? Can you give us a little bit of a.
Yes. So Purse, it is about it's like kind of like so there's this purse and it's possessed, and this is like a horror thriller film, and it gets passed down to other people, and things happen to the people who get that purse. Like, it happened to um the main character named well my character is named Julia. I forgot what the main character's name is. Man, I forgot her name, but the main character, she got the purse first, and it got passed down to people that she met, and she'd like give away the purse and then go to another person and then affect their lives, and then it would just keep going, and this purse was haunted. And it just had the whole story of that. And it also gives a little background story, like Easter eggs on that purse. But it's really cool. It's a very interesting film, and I loved it. I loved being Juliana, the main character's sister, and it was a lot of fun. I loved it.
What did your parents think and your family think that when you said that you wanted to get into films and acting? Did they say, well, you're too young, wait until a certain age? Or did they say, yeah, go for it, Kristen, go for it?
When I told them I wanted to be in the film industry, so my mom, she was a model when she was 14, but like her parents always put her down. Like they said that she wouldn't make it, or like pretty much like they really pushed her down. And so she quit modeling because of that, because she believed that. But when I was a teenager, I always wanted to do it. And I didn't even know my mom was part of the industry. Well, she was part of the industry, but I always wanted to do it since I was little. Like when I was a toddler, I'd watch Disney Channel. I was like, I want to be like her. And I watched a show called Hannah Montana, and I wanted to be just like her when I grew up. So I started when I was 15. I told my mom about it. I said, when I was like back when I was like 12, when I decided this is what I wanted to do, I told my mom about it, and she said, you can do it. You just have to wait until you're 14 and then you can start. And I love how my parents supported me. It really means a lot to me, and it is a very, very big deal. And I love them so much.
Yeah, your story brings um, a memory of the interview I had with Kaden Tokarski, and she mentioned that I think she started when she was 10, I believe. And look where she is
What?
now.
Yes.
Wow,
Oh, she is amazing.
amazing.
I love.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, wow. I'm going to ask this now and we'll just get over with. You're
Mhm.
not related to Hillary or Haley, right?
No. I get asked that question a lot. I'm like, nope, it's just me. Maybe though. I
Just
maybe.
me. I love that.
Yeah.
And I bet you anything that you got all your movies through just your simple laugh. Like, it's like, hey, I want to do this movie. And then you start laughing and say, okay. um,
I was
you
like,
were also in
okay.
you were also in a Mani and a Ouija clown. So that
Yeah.
sounds like I know you don't say no to anything that's brought to you, but when you're given a script, how do you tear apart the script? How do you get into the main character? How do you become Julia? How did you just this is made for me? And how do you become that person?
So how I break down my scripts is I usually like memorize that like I usually do some memorizing first. Like code reading is what I do best. Like I love code reading. It has helped me more than anything actually. And um really like the thing with code reading is usually like I'll memorize it, and then when I first memorize it, that's when I really break it down the character. And then like I'll like have like those natural reactions because in code reading, I'm doing it first. You get those natural reactions, and so pretty much I copy that, and then I pretty much make a whole full scene with that.
And do you do a lot of table reads as well?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, those actually also help me too because they tell me like what way you want to act or what way would be best for you to do in the scene. Like one time, the short film I filmed in Tennessee, it was actually last weekend, and I had to cry on cue. And I have cried on cue before, but this one was like a really long monologue, and I had to cry on cue like that. And I had to have like a different like I'd have like a cue to cry on cue, and I did not practice crying cue on at all when I knew I had to cry on cue because I wanted to make it more natural. So I just had a really sad memory. I just kind of formed that as the scene went, and I just started bawling, and I had a tear that came out, and it didn't splotch or anything. It was great. It was really good.
That talking about crying, ask Kaden the same question. How do you cry? And she says, "Don't cry. It just happens." Um,
Yeah.
but when you had to do the film and you had to cry, did you have to think of that same sorrowful memory? Like, how did it work for you?
Yes. Like the thing with that was it was like it was either that memory, like I cry a lot over animals, like really sad things that happen to animals cuz I love animals. I love animals. And sometimes that makes me cry. And sometimes I either think of that or a really sad memory that happened like in my family or to me or especially an animal. Usually I cry more about animals, but I'll just like bring up a memory in my head and it'll just happen, like Katie said.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I guess it would be pretty easy for you because there were times when you were filming that you just started laughing that doesn't call for a funny scene, it calls for a serious scene. How many times do you think they had to redo the scene before you got to a point, okay, I won't. Does that happen a lot? You start like like laughing on a scene that's actually serious?
Well, sometimes like it's usually like a nervous laughter when that happens because I'll get into character too much. Sometimes that has happened before, and sometimes I'll stay in that same phase. And sometimes like I'll get real nervous, especially when I'm thinking about something that has happened to me and I kind of reflect that. Like I always do like a scene and how much I reflect that scene, how much I like connect to that scene. And sometimes I can get too much in character, but now I've balanced myself. I've learned how to do a lot of balancing. So, yeah, that part is fixed now.
So when you're filming a movie or TV show or somewhere, do you have family there as encouragement?
Yes, usually my dad. So, my dad, he's a disabled veteran, and like he has some brain trauma because he was in war while I was born. And he doesn't really have to have a job now, like at all. Like he doesn't have to work and he still gets paid. And my mom, like my parents are divorced, but my mom, she works all the time. And my dad, he doesn't really have to work, like he can't work. So he usually comes with me, usually when he wants to, but he usually volunteers to come with me and come with me to filming, and it's great. I love having his support and seeing him after me growing up. I didn't really get to see him a lot, but I love how I'm like spending this time with him and also doing the things I love, and especially with him.
So you don't find it distracting when you have family as a support watching you do what you do? Because then you feel that you have to do it better because, I'm doing it for them. Or do you like when you're acting, you kind of like push everything in real life away and you're right into the part as if there was nobody around?
That's what I do. I pretend there's nobody around when I'm acting.
Yeah, it must be difficult having family members like that. But they're there for support and encouragement. But you love what you're doing and you want to keep doing it. And but how about the others? Do you get along with many of your other actors and actresses and producers and directors and all those? Do you get along with them?
Yes, usually when I'm always filming and always working with these people, connecting with them, it's almost like a family. Pretty much it is a family. Like we bond like this really deep connection. Like pretty much every project I've worked on, we've become family. And we've always stuck in touch and we always contact each other, seeing how we're doing, how's life, what's up. But yes, it's great. I love it. I love how everybody wants to be there, and that's what I think makes a family. Is you want to be there and you want to make that connection with people.
Of course, definitely, because you never know when someone that you're working with might be able to get you something that's like, wow, I get to work with Miley Cyrus, or I get to work with
Yes.
Julia Roberts. You'll never know, right?
Yeah. That's very, very true.
I really appreciate that. You did a movie called The Madness of Christmas. So can you tell us about that lead role and how it was for you to act in a Christmas film that probably wasn't even filmed at Christmas time?
Well, actually, that was the film I filmed in last weekend. It was like a 100-hour film race,
Oh,
and we had to film everything in 2 days. Everything had to be done in 2 days, and I was up and going.
really?
Like I had to, yes, like it was a lot of fun. Like it was just, I love how everybody put like the hard work into it, and we just all did this together, and we made a beautiful film, and it was all through kindness, through happiness. And this film was a lot of fun making because it's like a really comedic, happy film. It does have some sad parts in it, but I can't really tell what those are. But can talk about like the comedy. There's a lot of happy parts in it. It's really funny. It was a lot of fun making it.
Is this a movie that we'll have to see next year? Because you have to do that in 2, 3 days. There's no way it's going to be showing this year, right? Am I correct?
Um, well, they're actually getting ready to show it in February. I've never had a film that did that quick. Like I was like, February, wow. Like the rest of the films usually it
What?
took a year. Yeah. I was like, really? Wow.
Wow.
They told me about it like yesterday. They said, yeah, the screenings in February 15th of 2024. And I was like, really? Wow.
Well, I know they have the Hallmark Channel. They have Christmas in July where they show like all these Christmas films in July, but February.
February.
um. So, what was it like working on Creepy Christina Productions for the movie Strawman? You were a producer. So, what was that like for you?
It was a really good experience. This film was filmed in Oregon, and I currently live in Kentucky. So I pretty much like traveled like to Oregon, pretty much across the country, and I
Wow.
helped the director, Craig McCallahan, I think that's his name. Yeah, I get names mixed up. I got a terrible memory when it comes to names. But when I met him, he is so sweet. He is a good director to work with, and especially like his film company is based on like his wife and his family and just how they like support him, and it's just great. It is so much fun working with him. He is a very sweet and very very nice person.
Wow, Kristen, I love your disposition because you always got a smile on your face, and I can see
Thank
why they just go,
you.
"Hey, let's give let's give another script to Kristen because she's always happy. She's going to say yes to everything." Is there a character that
Yes.
you will not do?
The only characters I will not do is like a character that's like really dirty. Like pretty much if there's like a really dirty scene, like a rated R scene that's like shows a lot of dirty parts, I won't do that. Like I can do kissing, but I won't do anything over that. But anything else, yes. Yeah,
So, like a mean girl, you'll do that one?
I'll do that one. Yes. I'll do Mean Girl.
Oh,
I'll do Girl Next Door, Nerdy Girl. I'll pretty much do anything, any character. I can like stay like change my character real fast and go into character as like a whole different person. So I can, yeah.
yeah, that's interesting. So, have you ever been in a movie where you actually? I know there's one here where you're in Malfunction 2, you're actually actress and screenwriter, but
Yes.
you're an assistant director for Amazon 2 for Alice movies. your assistant director with Ladon Whitmire. I think it's Ladon, or is it Ladon? I think you mentioned. Is
I
it
think
Ladon Whitmire?
it's Ladon. I think it's
Ladon.
Ladon.
So how do you?
Yeah, it's
So how do
a name.
you, as an actress, how do you direct yourself?
How I direct myself is so I got ADHD. Like I'm all over the place all the time. I'm more of a very like scattered brained person, but how I direct myself is usually I have like a planner of everything I'm going to do in a day and what times to do it, and I pretty much like plan everything. Like I don't plan everything, but I usually like have a list of myself for each day and see what I'm going to do this day, see what I'm going to do this day. And I also try to be consistent with that because, like, if I don't, I would not know what to do. Like, I have to have things on a planner.
How do you deal with your mental health? Because you've all these going on in your life. What do you do to deal with that situation?
So, when I do my mental health is I pretty much like for me, doing things all the time makes me happy. Like I love doing stuff all the time. Like sometimes when I have free time by myself, that's when like usually I'm pretty good at mental health. Like I'm a people talker. Like I love to talk to people. And I love being social and that's what pretty much makes me happy and stable.
Do you have anything outside of movies and film that you do that's non-acting?
Outside of film and movies, usually I do a lot of things with nature. Like I do a lot of volunteering. I volunteered for a lot of flood survivor companies because I'm a flood survivor. We had a flood in Kentucky a couple years ago, and one of my friends passed away in it, and it really hurt really, really bad. And the year after that, they had a camp called Camp Noah, and I started volunteering for that. And I also volunteer for the animal shelters, and I do whatever I can to spread love to the world. It's something really close to me, and I love doing it. It makes me happy, and it makes others happy, and especially for those that went through that.
What was it like for you, that flood?
It was really hard. Like the day of the flood was crazy because my mom just woke me up and she got a flashlight and she said, "We have an emergency." And I thought like she ran me out of the house and I thought the house was on fire. But when I went through the front door, there's a whole house going down my front yard and it like that down my yard. I was like, this is
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, it was wild. And I ran with my dog down my road because that was like we have our driveway, like it wasn't that deep yet. So I pretty much ran with my dog to my neighbor's house, which had a two-story house, and we hid up there. But like everything, like for story houses, like my house almost got flooded. It was really lucky it didn't. Like very, very lucky. My garage, it was flooded completely. Like the whole inside, the walls were rotting. They were like covered in mud, and there was like gasoline everywhere. And we had a propane tank stuck to my house, and it was
Wow.
fusing and everything. It was crazy, absolutely crazy.
And what was going through your head? Did you think that you were going to die or drown, lose a member of your family? I know your friend passed away, but it must have
Yeah,
occurred to you that this might be my day.
yeah. It was like the thing with the flood is it like kept getting higher and higher and higher, and I thought like I was scared I was going to drown. I was scared this was going to be my last everything because it just kept going up and up. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I had no idea what to do. The only thing I could do was hide in that house that had a second story, and that was it. It was nuts, but I'm really, really lucky. Like, it was like at 6 a.m., the water finally came down and finally it started to
Mm.
calm, but it was crazy. I've never been through anything like that in my life, ever.
But now that you did go through that, it must have changed your mindset to the point where, you know what? This is going to teach you. I'm just going to go full force. You're going to either write a book or just keep going and be the best that you
Yes.
are. And most people would have, given their lives to the Lord and given their lives to God and say, I almost met you today, God, but now you've given me this chance to live another day. That must have been going through your head.
Yes. Yes. I was, as soon as that flood was over, I was like, I was praying to God and I was like, thank you for keeping me here. Thank you. And I was so happy to just breathe and to just walk and just do the things I could do. I mean, I was so thankful after that. And it was a very, very lesson learning experience.
And then yet you lost your friend, and it's probably like memories and to go to funerals, and it's just a sad thing. But you have that smile, you have that laugh, you just know that that's what draws people to you and say, she's been through so much, but she doesn't lose her smile, and that's what you want to have in your life,
Aw.
that smile and just your disposition and just to keep going. um, I heard that you had written a script, a movie that you have recently filmed, which I I watched on YouTube. Um, how did you put that movie together? Because you're a script
How
writer now.
I
Instead of reading scripts, now you're writing them. So how do you start, and why that one?
So how I did that one, is it the one at Point Isabel? Is it
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
one? Yeah. So how I did that one was I lived in this part of Kentucky. My dad, like they and my mom, they live like on the other side of the state from each other. Like my dad lives on the western side and my mom lives on more of the eastern side. And my dad, we went to this I think yeah, it was like a campground and they had like this historic spot called Point Isabel. And it was about this girl who jumped off a cliff due to an affair her boyfriend had. And this happened like the 1920s, maybe even 1800s. And it was really, really interesting. And I had the director, Ladon Whitmire, she asked me to make a short film that was horror thriller, maybe just a true story. So I made a film kind of based on a true story, but it kind of had a twist to it, a horror twist. And it was like, it's about, so there's this girl named Sarah, and she had a brother named James. And like they got possessed by her spirit because she is possessing them to do the same thing that she did. And how I made that is I started with like a biography, a bio, pretty much like a full on summary. And then I took like a week to just patiently make that scene, make a good script. And I had one of my very best friends named Maggie Hossabala. She's from Egypt and she helped me film Point Isabel. And it was a lot of fun doing it with her. It was amazing. I loved filming with her. It is amazing. And she's a really, really good actress. She's really good.
Did you have to find information like in the library and the history and newspaper clippings to make sure that your movie was on point?
Yeah, I kind of did. I had to go on Safari and Google, like, I had to Google some stuff about it. So, pretty much, I did read some newspapers about it. I did that, and then like she had over there, there's like a whole like plaque about her story. And like sometimes I would visit there and I took a picture of it and I read her whole entire story. And it was crazy what went on at that site because there was also one of the Civil Wars were fought there, and what happened to her, which was like right after the Civil War, happened there, and it was just wild. And we there's like this path where you could see like the barracks and stuff. It was crazy. It was really cool. Very, very interesting.
Well, that's the thing with period pieces. I can imagine the joy you had, but also it's about a piece where a woman passes away and everything. And
Yeah.
so the actress that played her, what was she like?
So I played Sarah because I didn't really have a lot of actors back then, and it was really low budget. So, which it did win a lot of awards. So, and I also filmed it all by iPhone. I did it all through mobile, pretty much all by myself. I had my
Wow.
dad help me, and I also
Hmm.
had my friend Maggie from Egypt. She lived in Canada for a little bit, but she like goes back and forth in Egypt and Canada, and we try our best to connect with each other. But yes, it was just me, my dad, and Maggie, and we filmed this whole film all by ourselves.
That is amazing. Wow, look at you, a powerhouse. Ooh, Kristen, Kristen. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So you also were the New Jersey Film Awards show. You were the two-time award winner, actress and producer. You were also Young Entertainer Awards nomination party second. Look at that Nova Star Awards. This is amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
You're becoming a proficient actress. So you were in commercial for an Instagram ad, phase alteration, custom sewing, purse advertisement, of course, Miss Centralian advertising. Which commercial did you like better? What did you have most
So
joy in?
So I like doing both. I honestly had probably the same amount of joy in both. They're both very, very fun. The advertisement for Miss Centralian was also for a pageant I had to do for my school. And that was my very first pageant ever. Like, I never watched a pageant or anything. I just had to do it. Like, I had to wing it all. And I actually won Miss Congeniality for it. And it was a lot of fun because uh I won an award for being a good person and being nice. Um but yeah, I'm really happy that they looked at me as that type of person, and yeah, it made me really happy.
I bet being a model as well. I bet your mother was really happy when you chose that as well.
Yes, she was. She's very happy. She's like, "Woo, Kristen!"
Woo, Kristen! Yeah, I know, eh? So, what do you like better? Being an actress, a producer? Do you like being a writer? Do you like being a model? Which one do you like? If you could pursue only one of them, which one would it be?
um, Probably acting, because I really love how in acting you get to kind of do all of that. Like you get to do modeling, like in a way, you get to have some direction of yourself in a way, and you help out with the film. So if I had to do one of them, it would probably be acting.
Yeah, you're really good too. Um,
Thank
and
you. Thank you so much.
singing as well. I heard you singing.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I have like been going into more singing. I've been really like I've always wanted to be a singer all my whole life. So I've just been doing some demos of that, seeing if I'd be good at it. But yeah, it's something I'm very, very interested in.
So now you got the flood and everything behind you, and we can say the pandemic behind you. That must have been really difficult, the pandemic. Like, since you couldn't do any acting or whatever during the pandemic, did you do a lot of things online or did you do something else? What was it like for you?
So I did most of what I did online first. The good thing that came with the pandemic when it came to that was I could make more connections. It gave people time to really have the chance to connect with each other, even though we couldn't really in person, but we could online. And that was really cool because it gave us a chance to be thankful that we even have the internet and to just really connect with each other in those ways.
Yeah, and also you made that documentary, The Flood That Changed My Home, as well. Imagine having to do that in the midst of a tragedy. I mean, like, wow. Well, you're a very prolific um, actress. Just you want to be in everything. It's like I want to be in everything. Uh, what do you think is your favorite film? One that you will always remember and think about?
My favorite film, so pretty much all of them are my favorite films, but one I would definitely always be thinking about is will be The Madness of Christmas. That one was amazing, and I just met so many amazing people, and me and one of the cast, her name is Katie Simmons, and we may be going on a very big girls trip soon, and I'm very excited for that. And it's just a whole family, and she is like my best friend. She is my best friend, and I love her so much. She's awesome.
That's where the connections come with. Like, I mean, meeting Eric Roberts, working with him, and Daniel
Mm.
Baldwin, and amazing. Wow, you go, girl. Woo, woo, Kristen Duff. Yeah. I will support you no matter what. Definitely. Yeah,
Thank
woohoo.
you.
Uh, like,
Woohoo. Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. um, so so you have a lot of voiceovers for animations, untitled future animation for role by future shooting stars. You're an actress and voiceover, and an anti-bullying commercial voiceover. What was that one about, and how did you do that one?
So that one was made when I was 15 years old. This is one of my very, very first projects, and this one was my very first voiceover project as well. And it was a commercial that was in where I live in Kentucky, and it was about anti-bullying, and it was like kind of like a campaign type of thing. So I was offered a job actually at my school. They asked me to do it, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'm more than happy to. And I did it, and yeah, it's one of my credits now. And I love how my very first credit in voiceover was a voiceover to help people go through bullying and to quit bullying.
Do I get the idea that you were bullied? That's why you undertook this.
No, it was just an offer. Like it was a job offer. I was offered it, so I took it.
But wouldn't it have been more of an impact if you yourself weren't bullied? Because I, I'm a victim of bullying myself, but
Me too.
these were
I
really
was
hard, hard memories. So
yes. It was
it's having to do this. It comes with memories that yeah, I was, and Bria Stacy, right?
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah.
she
So
was
what was it?
oh sorry, interrupted. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. So Bria Stacy, what was it like to work with her? And did she have a history of something like she was bullied, or like how did this anti-bullying commercial come to be? Like, who wrote it? Like, how did it happen? Like, you know what I mean?
Yes. So how it happened was so Bria Stacy, she was also my speech coach in school and also my drama teacher. And she offered me this role. It was like pretty much like she asked the class if they wanted to be a part of it, and I said yes. So that was when it started, and it came like a public, right? Like it was all over the radio in Kentucky, and it was awesome. It was a really, really big deal, and especially as me being a victim of bullying, especially like when I was in middle school, I was bullied really, really bad. And
Hmm.
that was when it really like clicked in me, and I just pretty much like acted out what I thought bullying really meant to me, because bullying is really hard. Like it's not easy to deal with.
Do you consider negativity from people out there saying, "Oh, you're a terrible actress. I hate your singing. I just don't like you because you're prettier than me," or whatever? So, how do you deal with that sort of negativity comments and attitudes?
Honestly, I just ignore it. Really, I just try to like I kind of distance myself from people that do say that, but really I just ignore it because there's a lot more better there's a lot better people out there, and you're always going to have haters in life. You're always going to have haters, but you're also always going to have fans. And sometimes when you have haters, it builds better. It can sometimes build better people towards you, and like sometimes like usually when people didn't like me, I've always built better people by my side and making those connections. So pretty much like when that happened, I just ignored it. I just pretended didn't happen. Now sometimes it did bother me, but really it didn't it didn't that much. Like there's times there, but yeah.
I like that. Um,
Thank
so, tell me
you.
more about your theater and dance experience, stage musicals on stage. Like, I'd be interested in, um, well, you working with Bria Stacy again, but an actress on the theater play Old Dried Fried, which was a year and a half ago. What kind of character
Yes.
was that, and how did you feel portraying that part?
So in that film, All Dried Fried is based on it's a very very southern story, and it's about like I'm from the Appalachian Mountains. Like I was raised there, I was born there. But the coolest
Wow.
thing about it, yes, yes. And the stories that were in Appalachia, the stories are like people will try to get to one place, but it was really, really hard to get to that place because especially back in like day when we didn't have cars, because it was really hard with the mountains. And also Eastern Kentucky is known for like a lot of oppression, and we fight a lot to get places. And in that story, it really like it was about this yeah, it was about this preacher. He was the preacher man in the story, and he went everywhere to get his chicken. He went everywhere. And the author of that story is actually right next to where I'm from. It's called Knott County. I'm from Hazard Perry County. I was born there. That's my birthplace, but it was the author. Yeah, the author's from the county right next door, and he made this story and made this play, and it was really cool to be a part of it because it was about my own culture, where I come from. It was really cool. I very, very much enjoyed it.
Well, we all know when you say Hazard County, I'm thinking of Dukes of Hazard and
Dukes
General
of
Lee, and
Hazard.
that's amazing. Wow, that's awesome. Well, that's good. Yeah,
Thank
I love
you.
the fact that you were in Aladdin. This was like in 2019. So, what part in Aladdin
Yes.
did you play?
So in that play, I played kind of like a side lead role. It's more of like kind of one of the people that did the tossed like apples and stuff, and just had those market things in Aladdin in the movie. But it was like in the play. I played that part. That was one of like I've done a lot of plays growing up, but I kind of took a little break from plays because I was really shy when I was in middle school. And then I did another play, which was Aladdin, and then I just built that up. And then my social life was back. I was happy, and I was back in business.
Has there ever been a time that you just wanted to walk away from it all?
Nope. There's never been a time. I've always wanted to do this and I've always wanted to do it my whole entire life. Like, I don't even want to retire. I just want to do it forever.
Wow, that's amazing. So, in the pageant, you were Miss Centralia in 2021, the school pageant, and you won Miss Congeniality. So, what was that like for you? Like, how does it feel to
It
win something like trophies or awards? Like, what goes through your, like, oh, yeah, I've arrived. Woo.
it it feels a lot like that. It feels really good. It feels like I got an award. I got a physical award. It feels really good. Like, especially when you get it in the mail and it's a physical award or they just give it to you and you get to take it home. That's what's the best feeling ever. You like get to take your achievements home.
So do you have friends who are like calling you and say, "Oh, you're famous now. We got to be friends." You get people like that that never wanted to be your friends, but as soon as they find you in a movie with Eric Roberts and stuff, they're like, "Oh, hi, Kristen. So let's hang out." Like, do you get that?
Yes, I get that a lot. I really do. Like, especially my sophomore year, because that's when it first started getting filmed and everything. Like I went to premiere for it, and it finally came in. That's when people were like, "Oh my gosh, you're so pretty. You're famous. Oh my goodness, let's be friends." And I got that a lot, especially that year.
Yeah, so you're a genuine person and you love what you do and you don't really disrespect people and you love them and you're not really much of a diva. You take what you can get. Um,
Hmm.
and also, so I noticed that you did a ballet recital 10 years ago. So that was basically when you were like eight,
Yes,
8 years
that was
old, I think.
baby Kristen. Yes, that was
Baby
baby,
Kristen.
baby Kristen. Yes.
And you don't do ballet anymore?
I do some dancing. Like, I do a lot of jazz dancing. It's like pretty much regular dancing. It's really like similar to like hip hop. But it's like I do jazz, hip hop, I do some ballet. Kind of depends on the time and what's going on. But usually I do jazz and hip hop. Those are my main ones.
So, yeah, I noticed a lot of your auditions on your YouTube channel, and um, there's that one where you're running out of your house and going to your school, and there's this blonde girl who probably plays your mom, whatever. So the acting there, it's just, it must be fun because you're portraying a character that doesn't exist. How much of those characters that you play in these movies, especially Purse, do you take home or being a method actress? Like, how do you do that?
So when I'm acting, sometimes I stay in character. Even when I come home, sometimes, especially like if we're filming for days, usually I'll come home with that same character just because it just helps me more and makes me form as a person in that character's body or shoes. But really, like when I did the short film last week, especially on crying on cue, like with that whole monologue, 'cause it was a really sad monologue and I cried on cue in it. And I came home just crying because I was so happy and it went so well. And I stayed in character pretty much like for probably 2 or 3 days, But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And like it was really, really cool to film in Madness of Christmas. It was great. And meeting all the cast and I cried when I got home because I missed him. It was so much fun.
Wow. So, what's Kristen and the Duff's home life like?
Yes, so the home life at the Duff House is it's pretty great. It's really good. It's really relaxation. We're very goofy. We're a very goofy family. I'm a very goofy person myself. um, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love it. And we always find the positive in situations, which is what I love about the Duff family. And we do whatever we can to find positive in negative situations. And we take those for, we're grateful for those situations because if it wasn't for that situation, things would not have happened. And I'm very, very grateful and thankful for the family I have.
Yeah, and your laugh is very contagious. So, I bet you that there's no downers or depression in your household. All you have to do is smile and laugh, and everyone smiles and laughs with you.
Yeah.
Even your dog will probably hear your dog laughing too.
Yeah, probably.
That's amazing. Well, really appreciate you being on our podcast. And everyone, everything will be linked down below. Uh,
Yeah.
Her website, I believe you have a website. You have an actor's access resume we
Yeah.
can include, and some of your acting reels from you and your YouTube channels will be linked down below. Um, so, what's next for you?
What's next for me is I am going to be, so I'm probably going to be filming in January, and I'm going for to the Screaming of Madness in Christmas in February, and I'm working really hard on getting a major role currently. So I very, very much hope I get that soon, and that'd be amazing. My whole life will be complete. But yes,
Oh
hopefully,
wow, that's amazing. Yeah, you'll
yes,
make it.
thank
Yeah,
you.
you'll never know. I think you'll do
Yes,
really well, gonna keep
thank
going and moving
you.
on and yeah. So Sandra Bullock, watch out. Here comes Kristen Duff to take your place as a reigning queen in movies. Yes, so we really appreciate that. So you want to give us a advice for the up and coming actors and actresses out there who want to follow you?
Yes. So, if you ever want to be a part of the film industry, I am more than happy to help you. Just contact me, DM me, whatever, and I am more than happy to help. And also, number one, never ever give up. Have motivation, keep your mind to it. Don't stop because you're going to get to really great places. I promise. You're going to do great.
Oh, that is sensational word of advice. Thank you so much, Kristen. Really appreciate that.
Thank
Everyone,
you.
listen to her. Okay, everyone, we're going to end the stream, and I really appreciate the opportunity to interview Kristen Duff, award winner,
Oh,
and
thank
oh wow,
you.
she's great. Check out her roles. Check out Purse. Really great, incredible. She does everything, so that's great. Okay, everyone. So thank you, Kristen. Really appreciate this. We're going to end
Thank
this
you.
now, and thank you so much.
Bye. You're so welcome. Thank you. This is a great opportunity.